Hello students, welcome to computer class. In the earlier class we have seen the same chapter but part 1. That is few scientists, few mathematicians, we have learned how they developed and what they developed. Now in this chapter part 2 we are going to learn some more mathematicians and statisticians who gave their contribution towards development of computer. But first, quickly we will revise whatever we have learned in the earlier lesson, means earlier class. Okay, so now abacus. Abacus was the first counting device which got developed in China before 3000 BC. Now, after that, many mathematicians gave their contribution. Out of that, in nearly 1617, John Napier, he developed the first calculating device that is called Napier's bones. He used rectangular rods in that. Now comes Blaise Pascal. He developed the Pascal adding machine, that is called Pascaline, nearly in 1642, which could do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. After that, Leibniz, a German mathematician, he developed one more calculator, that is called Leibniz Calculator. He worked on Pascal line and he introduced Leibniz Calculator. Only thing Leibniz Calculator could do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and find out square root also. After that, Charles Xavier Thomas, nearly in 1820, he developed one more device, that is called Thomas arithmometer. Now after that, nearly in 1822 or 1833, Charles Babbage, he introduced difference engine and analytical engine. These two are considered as first model working model of mechanical computer. Okay, so he is called father of computer. Then comes Lady Augusta Ada Lovelace. She was considered as the first programmer. Before that, we have learned what is program, giving instructions to the computer in a systematic way and writing those instructions in particular language, that is called a programmer. So she was the first programmer. She developed the program in somewhere 1842. That was the first program. So she was called the first programmer. After that, George Boole, he introduced one more logic, that is Boolean algebra or Boolean logic, which was used to make circuit for the computer system, and still the same logic is used to make circuits of the computer. So his contribution was very much important in the development of computer. Correct. Now we will see all this we have revised. We have learned all this in the earlier chapter. Somewhere in 1880, Dr. Herman Hollerith, he invented one machine that is called tabulating machine. This machine could read the data, take the input, processes it, and it used to give the output. For inputting the data or instructions, he used punch cards. For storing also, restoring, recording also, he used punch cards. Now, after that, somewhere in 1940, John van Neumann, this person introduced some system, that is, he used binary numbers to store the binary numbers in the memory of the computer. He also used memory to store the program and the instructions or the data also. Use of memory he introduced. So each and every person mentioned here has contributed some of the other important thing towards the development of computer. Now comes in nearly 1944, Howard Aiken. he also developed one calculator or computer you call, as it is the beginning of the computer. He developed one machine that was called Mark 1. He developed the first automatic sequence controlled calculator. He was a primary engineer in IBM, but he could develop this Mark 1. But after that, nearly in 1946, these two scientists, mathematicians, they developed one machine which we can tell as a digital computer, which was electronic digital computer. That was the first invention, that is the first contribution towards making a proper computer. Now, John Mauchly and J. Prosper Eckert, these two persons invented ENIAC, this computer. What is the full form of ENIAC? That is Electronic Numeric Integrator and Calculator. This was the full form of ENIAC. In ENIAC, they used vacuum tubes. Now, it consisted of 18,000 vacuum tubes, and it was much faster than Mark 1, this machine. Now, the Mark 1, which was also very good, but this ENIAC which got developed afterwards, it was much faster, and the vacuum tubes which consisted in that system, in this ENIAC, were huge in amount. So the speed was also very high. Now, what is vacuum tubes? These were used in radio, television, radar equipments and telephone systems. But can you see the picture given here? Yes, these are called vacuum tubes. Vacuum tube is an electronic device that controls the flow of electrons in a vacuum. It is used as a switch amplifier or display screen. I know this is little bit higher for your standard, but try to understand this, because if you will go to further studies, you can study vacuum tubes in detail after your 10th, 12th. For graduation, if you will take computer science, you have to study all this in detail. Okay. Now, when different inventions were made towards the development of computers, these vacuum tubes got replaced with something else. That also we are going to learn in detail in the course of time. Now, after that, UNIVAC 1, Universal Automatic Computer 1. This got developed by again J. Prosper Eckert and John Mauchly in 1951. This was considered as first commercial electronic computer which could handle the numeric as well as text data. Earlier, most of the devices which got developed, they used to manage only the numeric data, only the numbers. But this is called a computer because it can handle the numeric data as well as alphanumeric data, that is text data, means the names or the phrases or the text. Understood? Now, we have seen the development of computer. Now, this development, when we are seeing, we have seen some of the pictures also of computers. Okay. Now, we will see the generations of computers. Now, what is generations of computers? See, even as a human being, we are having first generation, second generation, third generation people. Correct? Means different generations we are having in a human race also. Same way, in computer studies, if you will see, there are different stages. Okay, there are different developments, and these developments are classified into different stages. That is called generations of computers. They are namely first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth and fifth generation. Okay, all these generations we are going to study in detail. Now, if you will see, in each generation there are changes in the development of computer, but two things were common, that cost of the computer and the size of the computer were getting reduced, whereas the speed, the storage capacity and the working capacity, reliability on the computer got increased. What it means exactly? See, the size of the computer, if you will see in olden days, now we'll see all the generations of computers here. See the first generation of computer. Suppose if you'll assume the size was like a room, it was so big, like a room, and the components which used in the first generations were huge in size, or many parts were used in that first generation. Compared to first generation, the second generation size was little bit less compared to the second generation. See the first photograph given with along with two ladies, that is a first generation computer, whereas beside that one picture is shown, that is second generation computers. Whereas if you will see in the second line, the first leftmost computer, that is the third generation, drastically the size is reduced. When the size is reduced, the components which were used in that were less, comparatively less to second and first generation. The cost also got reduced. See the fourth generation, again mouse got introduced, keyboard got introduced, and the size also is little bit small. And now if you'll see the fifth generation, laptops are used. Nowadays laptops are used, correct? And the screen size is also sleek, means the screen is not CRT monitor, it is LCD, LED monitors nowadays we are using. Now if you'll see, in case of speed, accuracy, the accuracy means giving the result perfectly, giving the correct result, that is called accuracy. And the capacity to store data, it is also huge. You can store a huge amount of data in a small chip. The circuitry which is used inside the computer, that is called chip. On that you can store a huge information. All this, how it got developed, how it got reduced in size and cost, or how it got increase in the speed or accuracy or capability of storing data, capability to give the accurate result, that all everything we are going to learn in these following generations. But these generations of computers we are going to learn in the third part of the same lesson. So all of you revise whatever is taught, whatever is learned, all of you are going to revise first two lessons, and then we will see the third lesson, that is generations of computer, next time. By then, thank you.